Ahoy! And welcome to Manning Overboard. Happy Hour with Hotcakes and the Captain. A show about the good and liquid life.
Where we talk about bars, bartending, and booze.
She's Hotcakes.
And he's the Captain.
Thanks for coming aboard. Now, let's go overboard. Ahoy and welcome to Manning Overboard. Happy Hour with Hotcakes and the Captain. I am your captain, Rich Manning, and with me, as always, my beautiful, lovely, and talented wife, Heather Hotcakes.
Hi.
How you doing?
You know, it's been a day, but I'm happy to be here.
It has. All right, so Hotcakes, what are we drinking today?
As we do, we drink in honor of our guests. So, for you, I actually made a drink called the Electric Gin Fizz because our guest is also an author and wrote a story about the Electric Gin Fizz with its crazy little shot in the back.
Yeah.
Our guest had me make a milk punch.
Oh,
so
shit.
I used the Mai Tai milk punch soda. It's a whole thing with a whole bunch of rums and clear and lime juice and coconut milk and and delicious and soda water. And then also lastly,
wait, there's more.
We did do what's called the Corpse Reviver #1 because our guest also was on the Cocktail College and decidedly said that the cocktail, the Corpse Reviver #1 was a drink to shoot. So we're going to do a little shot in just a moment as well.
Shit.
Dig it.
Wait, can I start? Oh, crap. Believe me.
Before we drink,
I got some...
how would you introduce our guest for us, honey?
I think I'll do that, yes, because these are looking delicious. So today's guest is Ben Hopkins-Prager.
Yay!
Beverage Director at Pitt in Brooklyn's Red Hook neighborhood and Ashley's Corner in Brooklyn's Crown Heights neighborhood. I think it's safe to say that if you've met Ben, you likely will not forget that you did. They're quite the high-energy character, and they're adept at taking any conversation at the bar into unexpected, delightful territories. Seriously, I read an article with Brad Parsons, and he mentioned how you threw a Charles Nelson Riley reference in the conversation. That takes talent. But this bartender, writer, and self-professed creator of music that sucks, was a finalist on Punch's Best New Bartender list in 2025, even though they've ended up losing to their spouse, Capucine Prager, and I think I butchered her name. I apologize to your wife.
Yeah.
She happens to be the lead bartender at Bar Godo in New York City's East Village. They're not exactly new to the scene, though, however, having made their bones in such well-known New York City establishments as Momofuku Sambar and Please Don't Tell. They've also flexed their writing muscle by penning cocktail articles for Punch, using their platform to share information about drinks from the perspective of one who makes them for a living. And they also have a kind of a thing for the name Barbara. Seriously.
We'll talk about that a little bit later.
I'm telling you, they are an unforgettable human. So, without further ado, welcome Ben to Manning Overboard.
Yay!
What
did you just down, my friend?
So I just took down a half a glass of Catch and Release's Swim Good Pet Nat. I was thinking about you guys. It's made in California, so I figured I'd come prepared.
I love that.
And it's a delicious, it's an Albarino Pet Nat, so it's super clean and easy. And, you know, our food at Pitt's, which is the first restaurant I'm the bar director of, is a Southern restaurant, big flavors. You guys came and had dinner. You know, we have lots of sauce and lots of acid and stuff. So I try to provide, at least for my wine program, things that are like light in body, able to sort of cut through what we're sort of going to be experiencing, especially if it's kind of like one beautiful flavor. And so, yeah, I just took down half of that. And then now I'm drinking some Bodega coffee. One of the best cocktails I've had.
I love that for you. Well,
that's great.
Cheers, my friend.
Cheers.
Okay, how does Rich do the electric fizz? What he's supposed to do the egg first, right?
Yeah, so I think you're definitely supposed to do the egg, which they'd call a prairie oyster, first, and then not to be confused with a Rocky Mountain oyster. That's for after the
confused. No.
Hello, and then take a sip of the thing. But definitely, you're going to want to do egg, and then you want to do silver fizz on the side.
All right, so shoot this and then sip this.
You got it, Captain.
All right.
Good luck.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hell yeah. Is that your first one?
Yeah, that's a first for him. And
it's a great. So, I've read a lot about these styles of drinks, and yeah, what do you think? First impression.
Sorry, spice went down the wrong way.
Hey.
It's an item function of how the drink is. It's really
good.
good.
Yeah. It's, so the original serve of that drink is served with vinegar and a little bit of salt and pepper. But Michael Madison, when he brought it back at Milk and Honey, put Tabasco on it. And then, our version at Pitt's that we're going to do for our brunch menu is green Tabasco, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and a little bit of fennel salt that we make. So, yeah, I mean, it's like in that bizarre time where you think of alcohol as medicine. This was categorized under the sort of like bandwidth of drinks called anti-fogmatics. Like you were meant to drink this as medicine. When I know, like, what a great word. It's like very
anti-phosmatic. Yes,
that's a band name.
I think that we need to start a surf rock band called the Anti-Fogmatic.
Absolutely, 100%.
I think that would work.
Yes, there we go.
Hey, we go. Like I said, I make music. So there you go. But no, it's funny because in this past year, I never anticipated writing about drinks. I had a friend that I worked with at Please Don't Tell named Victor Lopez, who was a big mentor of mine. I mean, he was at PDT for 17 years in total. And when he was announcing his new bar, I wanted to write a profile on him because he has always been this very like low key, unassuming guy. I mean, he was on the bar team when they won Best Bar in the World. Like he truly had been there since the day it opened. And I mean, how rare is that in these legacy bars, somebody's there almost 20 years later. Yeah. And so I started writing that, and then they just started off asking me what else I wanted to write. And so now I have two things that I'm working on right now. One is a profile of, I can say it now. One is a profile of the training methods at Dutch Kills. So I've been going there periodically every few weeks to see how they train their bartenders and sort of write about it and like sort of demonstrate like just talk about like how they train their bartenders. And then I'm writing a little bit about some nightlife stuff too. So yeah, I never thought in the year that I was running 2 bars I'd also pick up another side career, but here I am doing that because I've never chilled out for once in my life.
The side hustle is always a hustle.
It is.
We're constantly on a side quest, right?
And I think also too, side quest, it's hard to know what the main quest is a lot of the time. I mean, I feel like for me, like, to keep this craft, because the good thing about running a bar and the good thing about a good, like, well-run kind of program is that it is kind of the same day every day. Like, it's like we have a menu, we come in, this is how you set the station up. It actually makes the machine run really well. But as a creative, I think like it's been really refreshing for me to just like have different things that I do. It's around spirits and beverages and cocktails and stuff. And, that's also why I don't know if you guys saw, I run a guest bartender pop-up series at my bar as well.
I saw
every second Sunday of the month. Yeah. Like every second Sunday of the month, I have a different guest bartender come in, and we've had people like, who's come in? Tons of people. I mean, Greg Kong from Nomad Tea Parlor came in. This month, Stacy Swenson from Nine Orchard is coming. Oh yeah, one of the best. I mean, we're starting to bring in all kinds of different people. Pepper Stashek, yes, came. It was part of our Pride pop-up.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kabbalah, by the way, who won Best New Bar from Punch. Could not be more well-deserved. It's funny.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little. I'll tell you a little behind-the-scenes stuff. So, I came up at Momofuku. Like I started learning I learned my craft from Hara Shin there, who's my mentor and is as like, I'd say efficient of a bar director as you're ever going to meet. She made me quake in my boots many nights, but she's now a collaborator of mine, and we have a pop-up series her and I do together, and we're very, very dear friends. And when the bar for Kabbalah was being put together, they asked me if I would be interested in maybe trying to see if I'd want to be in the running to be head bartender. And I was like, because I worked at Co, which is the space where Kabbalah is. And so I said, I don't know, like particularly for me, like with the kind of work I make, if that's a good fit. And, Pepper, I'd known Pepper since she was at Grand Army Bar and at Attaboy all those years. And I was like, oh my God, Pepper's going to do this like daiquiri bar? Like, that's fierce. Okay, see, and I mean, I never had any doubt in my mind that she would turn into the unbelievable thing that she did. And if she's listening to this, she knows that we, and with her permission, ripped her off of one of her infusions that she created, and it's on our menu at Pitt's right now.
Yeah, I love that.
That's awesome.
I love that. Well,
yeah.
For that, we should cheers to Pepper.
Cheers to Pepper.
Because
wait, hold on, let me do one thing.
Oh, where'd he go?
Nope.
Hold on, come back.
Live podcasting, ladies and gentlemen, and party people.
So I am right next to my freezer in my prep station. So we pre-batch a bunch of our freezer cocktails. So I just poured myself a wine glass of freezer martinis. So cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To that.
Yeah, dude.
I like your style.
Ooh, for sure. Anyway, sorry. Hell yeah. So what do you think of that drink like that? How did you make it, out of curiosity?
Okay, so I ended up, I used I had Ducey. I had Regan's. I did the 4 dashes of Regan's. That's actually pretty good. But we don't have Cavassier. No, not Cavassier. Calvados, thank you. We don't have Calvados in our house.
We don't have Cavassier either, but.
So I ended up just getting Lisa's Applejack.
Hell yes. I mean, how amazing is that? Have you guys interviewed her yet?
Not yet, but we are good friends, and she's on the short list for sure.
So whenever you do get her on the air, please tell her this. Ask her about the time that she did a tasting with the PDT staff at Cafe L'Enfer, which was Souther Teague's absinthe bar that he had upstairs in the Royal. And we begged her to go out with us. We were like, Lisa, we hear you like oysters, like you are mother. Like, please come out to the bars with us. And she was this close to coming, and she turned it around. And tell her that many of the New York bartenders are still begging to take her out on the town, because she's come to PDT many times. I've programmed her Laird's unaged Applejack many times. Have you folks had that before?
No, the white apple.
Was it lightning? Yeah. Oh my God, it's incredible. It's like if Pisco took like 8 Adderall and was like on like the most intense like it's giving like what's it called? What are those? What do straight people do? What the hell is it called? Hold on, no, I'm gonna figure it out. They get on a bike and they like bike around. Not like biking. Oh God, Peloton. It's like
Peloton. I'm like they bike around. Because I went Peloton and then you were like they bike around. No, you don't move when you're on Peloton. You just go and do the thing.
The opposite of bike around. Anyway, it's ostensibly that. But it's one of my favorite products. I mean, brandies in general and eau de vies are my favorite things to work with. And yeah, that in that drink takes the proof pretty high. But I'm a diva who's not afraid of some proof. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
No.
You know, we've got a deluge of rain that's about to drop, and so Rich and I are just going to stay home and
probably have more of this. Yeah, I mean,
I think I'm going to say that. Are we back?
I think so.
Yeah.
Did the deluge take us out? Okay, we're back. I was going to say that deluge is a good word for bartenders to use to refer to copious amounts of liquids. Like when you guys came to my bar and we all had, I don't usually drink behind my bar, but I think I had a martini or two while we were hanging out because we were having so much fun.
We're a bad influence. What can we say?
That's fine.
We had a good time. Okay. Yeah. So speaking of your bar, why in Red Hook? Like I love that you gave us a reason.
Kicked ass, by the way.
It kicked ass, but also it's hard.
So why Red Hook is that? I mean, I think about I think there's a lot of us who bartended before COVID and bartended after COVID. And I really do see there's a change in it because I wasn't very experienced. It's a little bit of background on me. I grew up in the service industry. My dad is a chef and has a catering company. So I've been putting Q-tips, oh my God, toothpicks and things since I was like a child. Like this is like all I really know. And I saw in New York the way that the service industry, like the bars I worked at in Manhattan, like before COVID, and the neighborhood in the East Village really changed a lot. So like I saw, all the great bars in New York a lot of them are in the East Village, like Bar Goto, PDT, Super Bueno. I mean, like, you swing a bag of hot dogs and you're going to hit 8 incredible bars.
Right.
Indeed.
And so for me, being at PDT for 4 years and the other, I left and I came back and I had all kinds of stuff going on. I saw the neighborhood change a lot. And what I realized I enjoyed was creating a space for a community that I felt like that was what I really wanted to be doing at the time.
Sure.
Because, like, again, Manhattan, obviously, especially the Lower East Side, kind of changed, like, obviously from like more punk place to sort of a more, generic, cool, great stuff's going on in New York kind of area. And when I heard of this job listing, they reached out. I was a fan of Augie's Counter, which I'm now lucky enough to be the bar director of, to our first spot. And it's a Jewish lunch counter, Hungarian food in Crown Heights. And we make tuna melts and cheesecakes. It's like beautiful stuff. I'm actually sitting, you can see in the background, this is our gigantic oven that we do all the production for both bakeries in.
I love that.
And yeah, so when I heard about they wanted to open a bar in Red Hook, I was like, well, Red Hook is, you can't get there by train. It is it's definitely a challenge, but it is a community that is like a small town. And for me, in my journey of making drinks, I really wanted to do something that was like specific to an area. And I also live in South Brooklyn, where I've lived for 5 years, of my 10 years in New York. I live right near the bar, and I kind of was like, I would want to go to a bar in Red Hook as someone who lives around here. And so it was a big opportunity for me to make something for my own kind of community. And also the group is queer owned and operated. And as a queer non-binary person, it kind of made sense. And it just, it's a magical time. I'll say this about Red Hook. Sorry, I have so many people texting me, and I don't know how to turn the squeaking and the screaming off of my phone. Every day I'm here, I still feel like I'm in the good old days. You know what I mean? I'm like, man, like I have such an incredible bar team. You guys got to meet some of the folks. I think you got to meet Gabby as well, the bartender, Gabby Bonilla, who's an absolutely genius bartender. And, I get to work with so many interesting, creative people in this strange part of New York. And it just feels like, it never feels like I'm anywhere else but a strange little part of New York you can't get to by train. And I get to sell $10 martinis on Wednesdays to the people that live in town and just like be a part of their social life. Because also, again, let's talk about it. Drinks are too expensive. It's a problem. Shout out to Gus's Sip and Dip in Chicago for making $12 cocktails.
Yeah, amen to the Gus's, yeah.
Then I know we actually just found it. I'll tell them. I was rifling cross-eyed and screaming through my basement, as I am always doing. And do you want to be on a podcast?
Heck yeah.
Cool. Sorry, one of the chefs who does some of the production for the bar program. I'm talking about Red Hook. I was just saying, come in the camera, come in frame. This is Genesis.
Hello.
Hi, Genesis.
What's your technical job here again?
Junior sous.
Junior sous chef. Genesis does the production on the butternut squash drink that I think you guys had with the smoked sage butter.
That was
Oh my
delicious.
gosh, that was
Yes.
tremendous. That was so good.
Thank you for that.
It's another reason why I like being Red Hook. It's also just an example of like, okay, like we are a small team and everyone's really creative. So like we also have the freedom in this company where I just turned to her and I was like, I want to make something with butternut squash. What do you want to do with it? And then tell them what it is.
Oh, it's a smoked lemon thyme butter with some sage and that goes into our butternut squash puree with some maple syrup.
Yeah, and a little maple syrup. We just blend it all together. But like being in a restaurant in a small town rather than having to like fill 300 seats every night in like the middle of Midtown, like allows us to have the time to make cool work.
Yeah,
and so.
I do have to go. Great to meet you guys.
Bye-bye. But yeah, it just like
Nice meeting you.
Red Hook is a spooky place in the middle of nowhere, and so we get to it feels like I'm running a bar in upstate New York sometimes, and I think that's really fun. Anyway.
But I think that's part of the charm of Red Hook. That's why we immediately like hooked into it, just because it just had a vibe that no other neighborhood in New York, right? And especially in Brooklyn in particular had. There's no train, but the pro tip is taking the
ferry.
Yeah,
the ferry drops you right off at Red Hook Tavern, and it's just perfect.
This will probably be a good preview. I am filming a commercial on that ferry. My friend Ashley Hearn, she's the brand advocate for brand ambassador for Bureau. She's also an incredible photographer, videographer. And do you guys remember Barbara? Yeah,
of course, we remember Barbara.
With the cow. Okay, we talked about this. So I'm filming sort of like an old man, but like old Tran for me in the sea style minimalist art film of me traversing the ocean with Barbara and Barbara, talking about how we do $10 martinis on Wednesdays. It's going to be great, but it's going to be part of my oeuvre of things that are bad. But why was I talking about that? Anyway.
Because we love the
Because
ferry.
we love the
and we
ferry.
Oh,
were,
the
Love
ferry.
you
it.
So I'm going to
know,
do it on the ferry.
yes.
It's going to kind of be like
do the flex where we're like, we're not New Yorkers, but let me give you a New York pro tip.
Do the ferry.
Yeah.
Get down to Red Hook.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, actually, I was in Lower Manhattan today. I went to a wine tasting at like 11:30 this morning because that's what you do in this line of work. And I city biked all the way downtown, and I was like, "Yeah, baby, it was great." I was like, "Okay, like maybe I'll take the boat across." And then I ended up reading work emails so fiercely that I missed the boat, so I just biked across the bridge.
As one
happens.
does.
It happens.
As one does.
Yeah.
That's showbiz. Yeah, I mean, what are you gonna do? Sometimes the boat leaves, and you and Barbara just gotta take a cab.
Yeah. Hey, that's okay. At least you had a good company.
We've done the cab too. We like missed the get off, and we missed the get off. We were trying to go to Bellamins, and we were supposed to get off in Manhattan, and the boat ended up crossing back over to Greenpoint, and we were like, "No, this is not right."
This is
and
not
so
the
we
good thing.
we had
Yeah.
to take a cab all the way around back to Bellamins.
If next time you're kind of in the area of Bevelman's, have you guys been to NR yet?
Not
No.
yet.
So NR is a Japanese cocktail bar. It looks kind of like an Italian mobster restaurant, but it's like all beautiful Japanese cocktails. They're the folks that had the restaurant ROKC that was up in Harlem for many, many years.
Yes.
Very much ahead of time, which stood for Ramen, Oysters, Kitchen, and Cocktails. And if you, they just make unbelievable stuff. Like if you want to have a dinner with a light, like, overhead light, like mobster light vibes, it's like very that. Like it,
Okay.
but it's just beautiful, beautiful drinks. If you're ever on the Upper East Side for any reason. It's okay. Hey, this is Goldie. She's the pastry chef. I told you I'm in the pastry kitchen.
Hi, Goldie.
We're in my lair or barn, really, if we're being.
Yeah, well, you are barn. Yeah, period. You going away?
I'll go away now.
Okay, bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay,
But
bye-bye.
yeah, see, that's also the thing too. Do you also want to know why Red Hook? Let me also like deepen this answer, because I think in the world of cocktail bars, I just think it's such an insular world of bars that just serve cocktails. Like I think that I've always really enjoyed being a part of a restaurant. Like my background's in Momofuku, and I was always surrounded by such a huge diversity of like people who made desserts and people who made like all different departments of stuff, and also having a big floor team. Because listen, if this is an advice to any bartender, and who am I to give advice, but ask your servers what people think of the drinks, and ask them what they want, and ask them what kind of drinks they would come up with.
Sure.
Because I got that advice from Silver Lion, Ian Griffiths, my friend who now runs Bar Snack, who we all used to work together at a bar called High Lot in the East Village. They told me at Dandelion, which was at one point the number one bar in the world, the top selling cocktail was come up with by a server who had never bartended before.
Whoa.
Yeah.
They were just like, what do you think we should make? And they came up with this drink, and there you go. It's like, I think being in a restaurant bar really gives you so much more information than just all the stuff that cocktail bartenders know. Even just getting to eat family meal every day, I'm like, what the hell? How did you make this onion taste this good? And then because it really I think having different systems of creativity that are sort of analogous to your own will always make you make better work. And it's just the things that the people around me are able to make really always makes me better too. And I just really enjoy it.
I mean, and that's part of the modern tradition, I think, now. Just being able to if you're in the environment, you may just be able to observe things and maybe put two and two together. The Gold Rush was created by T.J. Siegel, who was the doorman.
Exactly.
And Richie Baccato made his bones as a doorman before he got behind the stick. So all these things.
I'm interviewing that doorman in 24 hours. I really am.
Yeah, but
whatever.
It's funny. Red Hook has this great vibe. A little fun story is we went to go to Seabourn.
Okay.
Lucinda Sterling's place, and everybody we talked to, including Ian, they're like, "Are you sure it's going to be open?"
Yeah.
Because apparently, that's the thing. Like, it may be open, it may be not, it may not
May
be
not.
open. So,
I mean, yeah, I'm lucky enough to be friends with Lucinda now, obviously, who's an icon of
yeah,
the cocktail rebirth revolution. She gave me her actual ginger syrup recipe, which I've been sworn not to repeat, but I'll tell you guys off the air. And I don't want to disrespect Sasha, so but man, like yeah, going to her bar. How about this? If you're listening to this podcast and you've never made a fancy free before, do you guys know this beverage?
Right.
It's a rye old fashioned sweetened with maraschino. And this is a point that I've also learned from my writing this article of Dutch Kills. And I very, very briefly worked at Attaboy. I love to say that. I very briefly worked there and I was like, this isn't my case. I did it for like 2 days and I was like, baby, I don't know about all that. But of course, John Nutter, who's the head bartender, just did our guest bartender pop up.
Yep.
I love that bar. It's down to that. It just wasn't for me at the time. But what I'll say is that there are different kinds of these essential spirits that we think about. It's interesting that we at a bar will have like 5 mezcals, 3 gin, like 10 gin. I have 14 gins on my back bar, but
Right.
there should be different maraschinos for stirring and shaking and different curacao for stirring and shaking.
Yeah.
You have to have these too. So, and I'll tell you, the one, Souther Teague, Mrs. Souther Teague, as I like to call her, she told me about, fun fact, I made my first martini ever in a bar for Souther Teague 8 years ago.
Whoa.
I was so gagged because I was like learning to bartend on YouTube. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, hey, I love that man. I really, really do. He's gonna.
We love him.
Yeah.
I love him
We're
so
fans.
much. I love him because I love him for a million reasons, but okay, picture it. Me, my first, I conned my way into bartending at a cocktail bar in Manhattan because I had worked in catering, which is my whole background. And I was like, yeah, I know how to make a martini. Hold on. Free pour, blah, whatever. He comes in with my friend Kimmy Winkler, who's now the rep for Pinhook Whiskey.
Oh, Kimmy's great,
and, we love it. And he's like, can I have a 50-50 Manhattan? And I'm like, absolutely. And then I was like, hold on a minute. And I went into the bathroom and I was like, what the hell is a 50-50 martini? 50-50 martini. And I was like, yeah, sure. And I surely went in the bathroom and Googled it. And Lord knows it was probably hot as a bag of eggs. But I love that man. He's been an incredible friend and supporter of me in all of my bars. I know I'm just yapping now, but I'm going to keep yapping because that's what I do. So
keep yapping. We love it. We love it.
Go.
So my first bar I ever ran was called High Lot. It was a cocktail bar in the East Village. It's actually where my wife and I met. She had just been at Manhattan. I was at PDT. Friends have connected us, and we fell in love at work, like all of us tend to do. Yeah, I mean, thank God. Easily the greatest bartender I've ever met is my wife, which is insane because I think I'm like fun and she's actually good. Anyway, so on a Friday night, because we were in the East Village, we were a little queer cocktail bar. We weren't written about. It wasn't like any kind of like critical success situation, but industry really came through and was like very popular for that. On a Friday night, because we were connected to like another bar, like a queer nightclub, it's not a queer nightclub, just a nightclub. There'd be a lot of people waiting outside, trying to get in to get a drink before. And so I would look out in the crowd and be like, girls, like, cute dresses on, like ready to slay, and like a bunch of queens, like gays, like living. And there'd be like a bunch of brick ass men in the back with beards and mustaches and shit. And I'd be like, did Souther Teague send you here? And they were like, yeah, he said to come, you make me a drink. And I'd be like, all right, get in. So it'd be like 8 like gays and like literal drag queens and wigs, and then to be like guys from Minnesota who read Souther's book, and like it was always the greatest, the best thing ever. And I'll just say too, I was somehow Jägermeister's like pride. By the way, shout out to Jägermeister, good shit.
Absolutely.
Pride bartender, whatever, of the month a couple years ago, and Souther was also at the event, and he was making drinks, and ever since then I've referred to him as Mrs. Souther Teague. So,
I love
like
that.
Southern Happy Pride. He's like, thank you. I was like, Mrs. Teague said, honey, you better have that Jägermeister ready for me.
I love
I
that,
love that so much.
It,
Wait, hold
we. Oh,
Yeah.
oh, we're holding.
Oh.
See, look, I promise you, I like it. It's in my freezer. It's in my ice freezer at my restaurant.
Whoa.
I love that for you so much.
That's great.
In Boston, where I'm from, for some reason, Jägermeister's always in the freezer. I don't know why.
Well, I mean, Jaeger bombs were always frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, back in the day,
I
that's
just
how we.
had my first one last week.
Whoa. You're young.
It was astonishing. It was
Jaeger
like hearing
bombs
the
are
Beatles
great.
for the
Jaeger
first
bombs
time.
are great.
I mean,
Yeah.
we grew up on Jaeger bombs. We are of the era where Jägermeister
I
was
think
like
I'm
the thing.
Jaeger bombs
but
and Goldschlager. Yeah.
Oh, well, Sarah Morrissey just came and did our guest bartender pop-up, and we made an old-fashioned with Goldschlager, and it was astonishing.
I'm not surprised.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
I'm not
Not-
surprised.
well,
Yeah,
I was
now
like,
I
oh,
don't wanna
I'll
get
buy
Goldschlager.
the Goldschlager, don't worry about it. And she was like, no, I've had a bottle at my house since Reagan was president. We're going to get rid of it through this pop-up.
That tracks.
I like it.
That absolutely
I'm
tracks.
here for that. I'm
Yeah.
here for that.
Good.
That's awesome.
I mean, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm just yapping. You tell
No,
me.
no,
This
this
is
is
like
great.
being in my bar. I never stop talking.
This is why we had
Well,
you
this-
on, because
this is why we
you're
wanted to
such
have
an
you.
incredible
Yeah.
conversationalist, Ben.
We could just have a whole
Honestly.
conversation.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
But I did have a question for you.
Yeah,
You
of course.
mentioned about
Your wife.
your wife. You were nominated as best new bartender,
Yes.
which you've been an industry veteran. First of all, was that weird? And secondly, you lost to
Yeah.
your wife. How is
Mhm.
that? How often does that
It
come up?
was one of the best things that ever happened because my wife is a better bartender than I am.
Fair. I love that.
I mean, yeah, the category, it used to be called bartender in residence. It was always like a thing I would have liked to have done. But I'll tell you this much, like my wife, Capucine-Prager Hopkins, is a, God, sorry, I'm like such an Italian. Like every time I talk about my partner, I like want to cry. I mean, she is a genius. Like she's just like everything that's great about bartending. She's a lot of things I'm not. She's like humble and technically like she's just like truly as a creative. My process is very much like the way I write music or whatever. I just like if it's two shots and if it's right, it's right. If it's not, I'll never touch it again.
Okay.
She will tweak a quarter of an ounce on a cocktail for a month. She really will. And, I appreciate that so much. It's not what I do. When we collaborate, we almost kill each other sometimes because she's so like, well, why don't we try it this way? Why don't we try it that way? And I'm like, it's done. And you know what? She's usually right, honestly. I mean, I think the Golden Daylily, which is one of the cocktails that she won with, is the best old fashioned I've ever had in my life. It's a milky oolong tea infused old fashioned with Suntory Toki. She's just like, yeah, to lose to my wife, like, of course, like, oh my God, how incredible is that? And frankly, because she's younger than me, like she's a beautiful woman. She never gets the respect that I'm just, when you're listening to this, baby, I'm just going to say what I'm saying, that she deserves because I don't know. There's a lot of misogyny involved in bartending. There's
Really?
a lot of like, yeah, I think, we've curated queer spaces, hopefully that we get to be ourselves in, but she just is like someone who should already be, and has a great job, of course, but deserves to like be seen as one of the greatest bartenders in our city. And she just, in the country, and she won that award, and it was the most well-deserved thing. And if you want to be sick to your stomach, read the comments on the post that that when she won. People like it's like some serious like incel stuff of like people would give me credit. Again, I'm queer and I'm non-binary, but I'm very like cis-passing, and that's like my whole thing. But the things people wrote on her post were just disgusting. And I would love any of those men to go 1-to-1 to Cap Prager Hopkins on a bartending situation of any kind, and they'll go home crying to the basement that they live in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well said.
all-
Well said. Good job.
Very good. Very
Good job.
good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Honestly.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, so to lose that was fine. You know why? Because also, this is one thing I want to say about bartending too. In this industry, there's so much shine to go around. Like there's so much more like, I think sometimes the worst side of anything in like American late stage capitalism is like, I have to get this because if I don't, they're going to give it to someone else and I won't be able to get mine. Like, oh my gosh, there's so many great restaurants in New York. Like, everyone is going to get their shine if you just stay true to your own work. You know who's a great bartender is Lo. Lo, who's over at Dolores, friend of mine.
Yeah.
We love them.
That's my son right there, period. And that's one of the best bartenders I've known because when I met Lo, Kitty from Paradise Lost, who's a dear friend of mine.
Another great bartender.
We had her on. She was our second guest.
Absolutely. One of the best bartenders you're ever going to know. So me, Ian, and Kitty used to have a queer service industry professionals collective called Butt Stuff that only met very briefly because we both started running bars. But basically, Lo was a starting bartender at Kitty's first bar, and I met them, and I was like, this person is special and awesome and has great character, and look at where they're at now. I mean, they're just one of the best of our field. I truly like. I just think like the reality is none of us are doing this to own Fortune 500 companies. We're all weird nerds that love the weird parts of this craft, and we love our people so goddamn much. I love the people I get to work with are so goddamn incredible, and I just like, it's such a privilege to run the bars that I run. Sure. And like I love bartenders. I love weird fruit guys, like weird fruit delivery people. Oh, speaking of which, did my papaya get delivered? No, delayed.
Oh, bummer.
Nothing worse than a delayed papaya.
The prices were too good to be true. It's $2 a can.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'm gonna go to H Mart tomorrow and refill my freezer too, so I'm gonna be fine. Do you guys have H Mart?
No, but you put on a good point, Ben. One of the things about that we like to really hammer home about the industry is it's run by people that that grew up as misfits, but then they grew up to be the coolest people on the planet. And
it's so true. I mean, I grew up in a catering kitchen, right? Like my weekends from when I was like 13 on were washing dishes in my parents' catering kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And because like my dad, who is my hero in my life, and is, by the way, now a true sober icon. So shout out to Chef Tim.
Mm.
Yeah, man. Like the people you meet who are willing to dedicate this. And again, I think all restaurants should probably be like unionized, and I think we should all have like socialized medicine and all the things that we all deserve to have. And
you're here.
I don't even know, like, if there's a future. I'm not going to comment on that. Sorry, but I'm just going to say like the people I've gotten to meet in this field doing this work are the best people I've ever met in my life, and are the most like honest, authentic people. Are most representative of what's great about this country that's deeply fucking flawed and problematic. And like, I love, even if it's like a bad restaurant, I love every restaurant I go to. I don't know. I like, do you guys ever like walk by a restaurant you've never been to and look in the window and you're like, look at that ecosystem. Like there's like a whole world happening in there.
Yeah.
I just love it.
That's,
like,
yeah. No, that's exactly what makes it cool though. It's like, there's such an authenticity with the people that are really great in this industry, and we've all found each other, and we all just stick to each other and just support and love each other, and that's the thing that, frankly, normies don't understand. They look at people like us and go, "Why do you go down to bars and drink all the time?" Well,
we're not going to drink.
We're going to see the people that we love.
We're going to be part of the thing, and it's like, look. I've been a lot of different kinds of people in my life. Like I've been a musician. I've been all kinds of stuff. But ultimately, like what I care about, and like one thing I say to my team a lot is like how lucky we are to all have met each other and to be in the same space as each other, and like to just do this kind of work together. I think is really great. And like I just like, frankly, I don't know. I always wonder, and I mean, hey, I'll just say this on the air, like, I don't know if I'll ever own a bar. I don't know, like, if I'll ever own a particular, like, my wife and I, obviously, our greatest joke in our relationship is like, well, if we ever owned a bar, because again, this is hard work. The margins on a restaurant are very, very thin. Dude, okay, imagine if you told some silly Valley guy that if your business was operating as best as it ever could, it would operate on a 20% profit margin.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's what the killers do. Again, it's like, but like, I think, and again, you don't have nights off. I grew up in an industry family. My parents ran a catering company. There were times when my father, God bless him, I didn't know that my parents were about to lose their house, but they kept on doing it because they believed in what my parents do. Very, very like hardcore New England seafood. My dad basically makes money selling the best crab cakes you're ever going to have in your life. And if I ever open a bar, we'll just serve it as a sandwich because it's one of the best things you're ever going to taste. But I just think so much about the reason to do this is because truly it's like being an actor. I went to theater college. I've done all kinds of stuff. It has to light your brain on fire in a way that makes the hard parts easier. And I hope that in my generation of folks that maybe get to own restaurants, who knows? Truly, I don't know. I hope that we create a world that is, and again, having a European partner has really opened my eyes to this. We have healthcare and we have mental health care, because Lord knows all of us need a lot of mental health care that we don't get in the service industry.
Right.
We have vacation time. Being able to travel. My wife bought me a surprise trip to Chicago for my birthday, which was just, I like many people in Chicago, I've hysterically cried, and not saying hysterical, but I sobbed my eyes out in an Uno's Pizza because she flew my parents out to meet me without telling me they were going to be there.
I love that.
Oh my gosh.
Being like, oh, I'll have another deep dish and a large flat Sprite, please. I want so much for us to have more, and for the people who, frankly, for the folks that are less advantaged to me as a white bar owner who's never had the privilege I've had to be able to, also a cis-passing, pretty attractive person, to just be like, yeah, you can be a bartender. I want a different paradigm for the people who, of my generation, who maybe will have bars. I want so much more for this industry, because truly, when I'm biking to work and I'm on my city bike and I'm biking through Prospect Park, I'm like, God, I'm so lucky to be in New York. I'm so lucky to have friends that work at bars. I'm so lucky to know that, okay, it's Sunday night if I go to Long Island Bar, and if someone has injected Phil Ward with happy pills, he'll be nice to me. She will get on the ball. I'm just saying, I love what we do so much, and I love our people so much that and I love people who want to write about drinks and whatever. I don't know. I'm obviously rambling, but I just my heart is so full so often with the privilege I have to do what I do. And I think so often about what could make this better for the people involved. And I hope, as incoherent as I've been on this podcast, that our future is one that is much more sustainable for all of those involved, of all kinds.
Here.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I think that you have closed it out so well.
Beautifully.
I mean, it's one of the reasons why when we sat down at your bar and we finally met you for the first time, it was like, this is it.
Within 2 minutes, Heather and I looked at each other and we're like, you're ours, and I understand, and let's continue this, and now you're part of our life for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
And of course, and I feel the same way about you guys. I feel, hey, that's fine. I feel the same way about people has Brad Parsons ever told you the story about how I used to stalk him?
Yeah, I actually read that in a part of his Substack. But
he used to always be in the same bitch, and she would be sitting there in the corner, and I'd be like, oh my God, I've read 8 or 9 books in my life total, but 2 of them have been Brad's. And I was like, okay, I'm going to let him, I don't want to annoy him, he's in the corner of whatever. And then I saw his reservation coming into Pitt, and I was like, oh my God. And now he's he's sort of like my erstwhile aunt. No, but I think that there is a world in which I think that if we can divest from the paradigm of corporate ownership and the things that have kept us of course you're only going to get paid $10 an hour, pursuing collective ownership in bars and creating them they're almost like theater spaces. It's these are the collective people who own it, and this is how we break it up. I think that's something that my partner and I are very much interested in. But like, and like creating a future in which it's like working in a restaurant to me has always been a dignified job. I can't, my, gigantic biceps are just too huge. But I think, is this the right arm? My body looks like a desk in detention. I don't know where my tattoos are, but I have a Blodgett catering. Sorry, I'm just too buff, but I have a Blodgett catering oven tattooed on my arm over here, and there's a pineapple in it, which is a very dated sort of actually kind of racist reference that I'm gonna get covered up. But like these are the first people I ever met that were adults that had jobs, and I think that my calling on this earth was to be part of this world and to figure out ways, be it with people that are smarter about numbers than I am and all stuff like that, to try to create a future in which this is a job that gives you a 401k and a retirement plan and gives you the social. It's not just like, oh, well, the people at the top are, like capitals in general, like are feasting while everyone else is in famine, like trying to figure out a model for a restaurant that actually collectively functions and everyone gets to have a sustainable life out of it, because it deserves that, because it's the greatest. Food and beverage is the greatest craft in the world. Besides sculpting naked Greek guys, pretty cool stuff to that. Well, that Jägermeister just hit.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think at this point we're gonna end it right here because
I was just gonna say, just everything that you just said, Ben, is absolutely great, and I know you use your social media for good, and keep using that social media platform for good, because you say things that need to be said.
Well, thank you.
Full stop.
And again, I'm just one person who says whatever I want to say, and talk about someone like Kitty who really, they say really like a lot of the stuff that I really agree with. And again, I'm also not beyond reproach. Yeah. Like I've also had opinions that have been high-key wrong, and I've been high-key wrong in my life. Y'all see how insane I am. Obviously, I've been high-key wrong a lot. Like I don't know. I feel sometimes when I'm behind a bar and it's hard work, and the hours are terrible, and it's a lot of stuff that is just not conducive to, like, my partner and I want to have a baby in the next few years, and it's like I grew up in a service industry family. It's very challenging. I just wonder about our future collectively, be it with writing and all the things that we can all do, and giving space to people who deserve to have articles written in magazines. Like, I just wonder, like, what's next for all of us, and hopefully it's a more ethical and more bountiful future for everyone involved, and more free tote bags. I'm just kidding. I don't know what to say anymore.
Well, if you ever want a tote bag, let us know. We'll send you some.
All right. Okay.
Also, I'm going to say one more thing.
Our podcast.
Wait, I need to finish my rant. I have one more rant to say. SOG.
Go for it.
SOG. I have one more spirit I have to advertise. The best spirit I've tasted all year is SOG. It is an Iranian arak. It's made in New York State. It's made in Yonkers. It's made in New York City. It is a golden raisin eau de vie made by Iranian New Yorkers, and it is the only thing on my mind 24 hours a day. I think arak is going to be the next major cocktail category. Call it now. Period.
Okay.
Sold. I mean, you heard it here first.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Reel it in, because I've got a couple of rapid fire questions for you. Okay.
Blast it out, sister. Wait, I'm going to double up on my Jaeger intake.
Hell, we might join you at this point.
Shabbat shablam, bitches. Let's do it.
All right.
Great. What's up?
We're sitting at your bar. These are our last call questions. We're sitting at your bar. We've had a couple of cocktails. Where do we go next? If Pitt's was our first stop in Red Hook, where do we go next for a good cocktail?
If you have Lucinda's phone number, you call her and try to open the bar up. But if she's not willing to do that, it's absolutely understandable. You're going to go over to Grand Army Bar, and you're going to have a fabulous cocktail there. But if it depends on the day of the week, if you're willing to go, Long Island Bar is my happy place. Okay. Yep. Sunday regular, and you're going to say hi to Dawn and Cherie and the whole team there on Sundays. And you're going to ask Phil Ward if she's taken whatever sort of dog medicine that she takes, and she's going to make you whatever she wants to make.
100%.
Yep.
Okay.
That sounds cool. Yeah.
Question number 2. Who's got the best burger in the city?
The best burger in the city is at the Lions in the Lower East Side. It is a bar that I got to work at while I left my first bar program. It is a full-on. It's like, and again, I love Red Hook Tavern. I do. It's an awesome restaurant. It's right next door to my restaurant. But what I think Keith McNally, who I have tons of problems with, he said that a burger should be a cheap thing, and the burger at the Lions is like $17, and it's a just wonderful, delicious burger. I got to eat it for about 6 months, and it's one of the greatest. Luigi Petrocelli made it. Delicious, incredible burger. Game changer. Nicest hospitality group in the Lower East Side, by the way. Just the best.
Good to know. Good to know.
Yeah, no, that's great.
All right, next. If I have an afternoon to kill in New York, what am I doing?
If you have an afternoon to kill, you're going to probably go to, I would say, pick, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm a city bike person. Biking in my city gives my heart like so much, like it's one of the few times where I'm actually speechless, like how much I love my city. I would say I would take a quick bike ride over to like maybe, okay, your city, my borough is Brooklyn. So I'm going to keep it into Brooklyn. I would say maybe go to the Brooklyn Museum, walk around. I would have lunch at Augie's Counter, which is my favorite daytime restaurant, which I also get to have the privilege of doing the bar at. I get a tuna melt and a piece and like hang out with the team there. I'd go over there and then I would bike around Prospect Park and just like go to the Loop and see what's up over there. And then like, honestly, then like bike down to Red Hook and just see what the fuck is up.
Yeah.
Fair.
Sounds
Not
delightful.
even like advertising, just like, yeah, hell yeah.
All right. And then last question. Where am I closing out the night for a beer and a shot?
Closing out the night, it depends. 2 boroughs, I have 2 opinions. New bar that's not even open yet, but I'm going to tell you where you're going to close it out. You're going to close it out at Banshee, which is Jen from International Bar's new bar. Jen is one of the best bartenders you're ever going to meet in your life. She's just a steward of all of us, and she's like just like family to everyone who's worked in the Lower East Side. She's opening a bar up the next few weeks, and I know the Guinness is going to be great, and I know she's going to be shady as hell, and I love that. She makes me look like the third Muppet to the left who has no lines. I'm like, how could she say that? Truly, I'm like, it's an insane thing to say, and that's coming from me. But if we're in Brooklyn and we're going to close it down and we're having a beer, and you said beer and a shot, right? Yeah. Yeah, if we're going to have a beer and a shot, I'd probably do it at like, I'd make sure I'm going with some friends that we've already gone from somewhere. I go to Boat Bar, downtown Brooklyn. And I play some ping pong or air hockey or whatever the hell the table is at the time because they change it. It's like all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's like a whole different like genre of game. I'd go there for a beer and a shot, or I mean honestly, I'd get a beer. I would get the Boilermaker at Long Island Bar, the Kolsch and the offbeat, and I would like sit in a booth and if it was me, I would have it with my wife and I would just stare at her face the whole time. That's what I would do.
That's awesome.
That's the perfect way to end this.
I feel like I sound like such a wife guy.
Yeah,
like, I'm not even a guy, and I love my wife.
So, Ben, thank you so much for joining us today here on Manning Overboard. I hope you had as much fun as we did. And my gosh, thank you for cracking me up. I mean, my gosh, you're freaking hilarious, man. And if people want to find you on the socials, where do they find you?
I'm at Ben Hopkins, because it's easy when you're drunk to remember my name if you say it twice.
Yes, Ben Hopkins.
Ben Hopkins.
Like
a Goodfellas character in there somewhere.
Yeah.
And remember, everybody, we can be found on Manning Overboard on Instagram at Manning Overboard, or go ahead and email us at manningoverboard@gmail.com if you have any questions or comments. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we will see you the next time. Look forward to joining us on the next happy hour. Cheers.
Happy hour. Cheers.
Manning Overboard, Happy Hour with Hotcakes and the Captain is produced and distributed by EatsDrinksTV,
a service of the nonprofit Center for Culinary Culture, home of the Cocktail Collection,
the Center for Culinary Culture,
telling the story of food and drink, one taste at a time.